course of the last few weeks, a narrative was spun to project the attacks on Hindu temples of worship and the Hindu community in the United Kingdom as a backlash against the allegedly rising tide of Hindutva here in India. Viewers, the victims were being painted the villains. The victims in the UK, and there should be no doubt about it after today, were Hindus. They were ordinary Hindus, viewers. There were individuals who have been living in the UK trying to make ends meet, trying to establish themselves as immigrants in a country where we know that it's not easy to assimilate. But it was not, viewers, the whites, but it was Islamists who set upon them, seeing them as a threat. You all know, viewers, that Indians as a community, as a whole, do very well wherever they go. But viewers, in Birmingham, a set of Islamists drawn from diverse backgrounds, Egyptian, Syrian, Pakistanis, saw the local Indian community as a threat. And to cover their actions, they used their ecosystem to suggest that they were very upset because the specifically local Hindu community were some new emigres that had come from India that were militating against Muslims and were the product, the indoctrinated product of a muscular Hindutva, saffron narrative. Viewers, this is palpably a calumny. Viewers, that narrative was a mischievous one. And Times now has dug out new evidence that proves this very, very clearly. The unseen videos with Times now show how targets were marked on the backs of Hindus and their religious symbols to unleash unprecedented fear. This is Birmingham, viewers. This is Birmingham. Watch carefully. You will not see a single slightest sign of provocation, and yet the unsuspecting temple goers in Durga Bhavan Center find themselves at the receiving end of unbridled, horrid and frankly disgusting hate rants. Hate rants, viewers. I want you to listen to a sample of it.
You pissed kid. You dirty pissed kid. This ain't Leicester, you cuz. This is Brompton. Hiding. You dirty pissed kid. Go eat some cow. Hey, you look shook. You look shook. Look at the hey, you look shook. Hey, go drink some cow. Hey, put that beef. Look at that piss drink. Thank you. Back, please. Thank you. Back. Move back. Move back. We don't use it. Keep going. You sound sexy when you scream. Look at him helping the piss drinking.
Viewers, filthy, absolutely filthy, racist, and most importantly, sectarian language. This is the kind of invective Hindus in the UK were subjected to. Let it sink in. Let the words, viewers, sink in tonight. Despite being at the receiving end of such venom, there are those in our country and an ecosystem internationally that still villainizes the victims. Before we move on, listen to the masked mob spewing hate once again. Listen to this.
You piss drinking. You dirty piss drinking.
Viewers, it's revolting. Let me play another video, again from Birmingham, where even young girls peacefully performing Garba were abused. Watch this.
Check these Cheuros out. I think it's in India. It's almost like they're probably taking the piss and decided to do it in front of the mosque.
Viewers, despite mounting evidence of how Hindus were the ones persecuted, there are certain publications in the United Kingdom that are helping those who are trying to build a narrative that paints Hindus as the perpetrators. And yesterday, Hindus based in the UK were forced to come out to protest this biased coverage. Viewers, watch this.
We are standing here in protest against biased journalism of UK newspapers and media houses like Guardian and BBC. They call us Hindu extremists. Hindus are victims of terrorism. Hindus are victims of attacks.
Jai Shri Krishna, Namaste. I'm here at the Guardian offices protesting because they've been so anti-Hindu. It's been unfair. They're not neutral. They're very biased in their reporting. Hindus are a very peaceful community and they're constantly being oppressed, but they're being demonized and wrongly portrayed in The Guardian. The editor is responsible for causing division, hate and violence and must be accountable.
They tell us here we are demons, we are neo-Nazis, we are fascists, we are none of those. We are peaceful people, we are contributors to the British economy, we are not criminals. You can tally the prison statistics in UK. We have the least number of people in the prison and the highest number of taxpayers. We have assimilated well.
I'm appealing all the Hindus, all the Indians to stop subscribing Guardian, stop buying Guardian. No Guardian today onwards, no Guardian.
And causing communal riots. Guardian is causing communal tensions.
The reason we are protesting here today is the false narrative Guardian is using towards the Hindu community. Guardian covered during Prime Minister Modi's visit calling us the Hindu Taliban, and I take a very serious offense of calling me a Taliban because I do not look like a Taliban and I'm not a Taliban.
As a last resort, Hindus in the UK are now protesting on the streets, writing to members of parliament, hoping that they will be heard, and in some quarters their pleas are resonating. UK MP Teresa Villiers became the second parliamentarian to raise Hindus' plight in Parliament, viewers, in just a matter of a few days.
We have an urgent debate on Hindu-phobic hate crime. Recent days have seen a number of appalling acts of intimidation and harassment directed against the Hindu community, including a violent mob targeting a temple and tearing down a flag with spiritual significance. And I think it is important that these disgraceful episodes are discussed by this Parliament.
Viewers, let's ask some basic questions this evening. Let's open this up. Let's ask those who have been trying to suggest that this is all a backlash to Hindutva and other forms of anarchism, allegedly saffron anarchism in this country. So let's ask this: why are they deliberately making this a Hindu-Muslim issue when they all know that a large number of those, the hate mongers that you've just heard, are Egyptians, Syrians, and other Middle Eastern nationalities that are saying all these words? We have some of those individuals already on camera, and they are from not even the subcontinent, viewers. So why is this happening? I fail to understand why someone in Syria or Egypt would be motivated by Hindutva, etc. in our country, viewers. I just don't understand this line that is being sought to be, this link that is sought to be drawn. And I want to open this up, and I want to ask Disha Solanki, a concerned local citizen from Leicester, and Miss Manu Khajuria, Indian citizen based in the UK, Khajuria rather, Indian citizen based in UK since the last 12 years. Now, Ms. Khajuria, let me begin with you first. There is this narrative that is being peddled aggressively in many quarters. The ecosystem here in India has very quickly adopted it to lay the blame on the doorstep of the victims. They're villainizing the victims. What do you make of this, Ms. Khajuria?
Rahulji, I think you have very clearly pointed out that there is an ecosystem, and in England, amongst the few lone voices, we had an article by the chief political commentator, writer of The Spite, Brendan O'Neill, who says exactly the same thing and calls out the leftist media, especially BBC, Guardian, and a few others who have indulged in dog whistling and probably use the same narrative being peddled by the Islamists to justify their acts of violence and vandalism against the very peaceful British Hindu community here in the UK. So there is a certain ecosystem, and the claims that there is some sort of, the imagined claims of a Hindutva, of extremist Hindus being operating in UK have been denied by not only now by the police chief, the temporary police chief of Leicestershire Police, Rob Nixon, but even by the mayor, Sir Paul Robinson. He's also said that there is no such Hindutva extremist element operating in Leicester, and to somehow it speaks volumes that a few days back even BBC, which has a very openly anti-India and anti-Hindu stance, grudgingly admitting that there is no evidence of any such group of Hindu radicals operating in the UK, and all the crimes will show you that it's been a one-way crimes against only Hindus. There has been no counterattack. There are only Hindu homes that have been damaged, Hindu temples that have been attacked. There have only been Hindu individuals, 2 youth who have been stabbed, an elderly lady who has been punched on the face, the Hindu flag that's been destroyed and burnt. So everything is going, it's in one direction. It's only against the Hindu community who are peaceful, law-abiding, and very successful in this country.
Now, many people are saying that a large number of the Indian community, Hindus specifically, are facing death threats. Can you confirm that, Ms. Khajuria? Is that a fact?
What I know for a fact, Rahul, is that there are Indian Hindu parents who are extremely worried to send their children to school. There are children in Leicester who have not attended school for days on end because they are facing harassment in school itself. I know of Hindu businesses who have not opened up, their usual hours because they are facing threats. We've had police tweeting about increased security anywhere near any Hindu temples or any Hindu property. And we have had the Metropolitan Police, the Hindu Association of the Metropolitan Police, come out with a video and a message to the Hindu community, to the diaspora, saying that, describing what a hate crime is and how to report that hate crime. This in itself is an evidence. And we've had, of course, let me add, we've had people and homes in Leicester removing their torans their Shubh Labh, their Oms from their doors, because there is a threat. This is how they had been marked and this is how they had been attacked. So there is undoubtedly an increasing amount of fear amongst the British Hindu diaspora here, especially considering that we have the Navratri and the Diwali celebrations coming in. Again, I'll point out that Leicester is where the largest Diwali celebration takes place outside India. It's also home to the second largest Hindu population in Europe.
Okay, let me bring in Mr. Ravi Srivastava as well as Dishita Solanki. Ms. Solanki, let me ask you this first. A number of those who you see as part of this masked mob have turned out to be not even subcontinental Muslims. They are either Egyptian or Syrian. What is bringing them out?
When this was predominantly ignited about 2 weeks ago, there was a mass poster that was being published everywhere, that they were asking for any Muslim. If you're a Muslim, then they were literally calling them out to come on the street. Obviously, that would include Syrian, Egyptian, and the way they are wording it as well is so clever. They're not saying let's all Muslim go out on the street to attack the Hindus. They're using words like Muslim brothers, let's get together to help our other Muslim brothers and show them what's what. So they are positioning it in a way so they don't get attacked or fall into any kind of legal matters with the police. That's how the posters are being, and these posters are widely available. You just need to Google the right words and you'll be able to find them online anywhere.
Okay, Mr. Ravi Srivastava, a UK YouTuber named Muhammad Hijab has come across as the instigator-in-chief of these violent incidents in the UK. Now, this person is a British Egyptian who is seen terrorizing Hindus. Before this, he has been widely videographed terrorizing the Jewish community, saying that we are here to kill Jews. The fact that there is radicalization going on in the United Kingdom of certain youth there is a known fact. Shamima Begum traveled to Syria to join the Islamic State in 2015. Several other British-born Muslims have traveled to join and fight with the Islamic State. There are hundreds of examples. On the back of that, I want to ask you, are these people joining the ISIS or Egyptians or Syrians coming out to attack Hindus because of what is going on in India? Isn't this remarkably silly and an attempt to trivialize this whole, or perhaps even completely obfuscate the facts to suit a political narrative?
No, I think this calls for an introspection as far as we Indians are concerned. What are we doing? How are we dealing with the minorities? How come this Ajan, Hijab, Halal, Madarsa, that bulldozer politics and all, what we are, there has to be some kind of a backlash. What happened to the Nupur Sharma's statement on a TV channel? How it was reacted in the Islamic countries? They went on to even boycotting the Indian product. And the government had to kneel down before them and say that we have suspended her. So what are we doing here? The kind of treatment we are giving to our minorities here, probably they are being responded like that over there. There, again, my question here is that if it is so that the Indians are being, the Hindus are being persecuted there, why our Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, cannot amend the CAA and see that Hindus persecuted in UK will also be added along with the Pakistanis, Bangladeshis and other countries?
Let's not trivialize the debate. One second.
What trivialize?
One second.
One second. Let me ask you a counter question. This is what exactly I am asking. What are we doing here?
If I have your permission, can I ask you a counter question, sir?
Please.
The terrorists responsible for the Pulwama attacks, you might remember those attacks. More than 40 Indian soldiers, troops were killed. Use the same phraseology, cow piss drinkers, to gun for Hindus. Are we saying that the Jaish-e-Mohammed, which is based in Pakistan, which has been in action against India for decades altogether, is also attacking India because it has been affronted by Hindutva, or the Lashkar-e-Toiba, which is run by Hafiz Saeed, or for that matter, the Hizbul Mujahideen? Are they all, sir, militating against Hindutva? Will you justify this terrorism?
I'm not.
But you are. You are.
I'm not the saying.
If ISIS sympathizer, what is the difference between an ISIS sympathizer and a Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist? Tell me.
I'm saying.
No, is there a difference?
What kind of slogans are we?
Sir, I'm asking you, is there a difference between an ISIS terrorist? No, one second. Tomorrow you will say, tomorrow you will say, by your logic, Raviji, by your logic, tomorrow you will say that the Lashkar-e-Toiba attacks India because it's a backlash against Hindutva. You will give the Lashkar-e-Toiba, in fact, a alibi. Is that what we are doing here, Ravi Srivastava ji?
You can presume anything. I will never support any terrorist organization.
So what do you think these are?
My point is very
when someone shows up, so you are supporting these terrorists.
Why the Hindu Muslim?
You are, what is your, why are you defending the actions of, sir, why are you defending the actions of an Egyptian called Hijab Muhammad? Tell me, he's an Egyptian, he is a certified hate monger. I'll play out his videos for you. Why are you today rationalizing what he is doing?
I am not saying that what he is doing is correct. He is a terrorist and one.
You are justifying it. You are creating a justification.
Am
I wrong?
Another thing. What our Indian embassy is doing in UK?
Sir,
why are they not
don't try to divert attention. I'm asking you a specific question. It is because of the Indian government's intervention that British MPs are today standing up in their own parliament. One second. Even British MPs, not one but two, in a House of Parliament, and I'll show you those pictures, have discussed this. And what are they saying? They are saying that Hindu-phobic mobs are attacking hapless Hindus. They are not sitting like you, sir, and saying, oh, because what is happening in India, purportedly, is the reason. I mean, here you have British members of Parliament who are sworn to tell the truth to their own public. Why are they siding with the Hindu community?
We can only thank them. It is not that it is happening there only. What is happening in US?
So
you watch it. There are also similar things. You will see that similar things will crop up in US also.
Okay.
Because the people are doing it.
Right.
All those from flag bearers, they are trying to create the unrest everywhere.
Okay. Now, viewers, let me show you. Young girls celebrating Garba. These are not Hindutva activists. Let's show that video of young girls who are dancing the Garba. This is Navratras. They have begun. Nizam bhai, let's play out those visuals. There they are. Now, viewers, these are young women. They are not your muscular, recently landed, indoctrinated, fascist Hindus. Even they, viewers, are not being spared. And you have people like Ravi Srivastava and I'm sure Majid Haidari, etc., who are coming out and rationalizing this. It is shocking, viewers. And let me tell you, radicalization is not new in the UK. In 2007 and even before that, there have been train bombings. There was a Glasgow attack. Now you say there was Hindutva also in Scotland. You will confuse the kilts they wear with the flapping shorts of the RSS. I mean, this is absolutely absurd. It is silly. It is to trivialize. Ratan Sharda, how do you respond to the likes of Ravi Srivastava? And I'll bring in Majid Haidari and Ehtesham Saab.
Well, Rahul, first of all, thank you for very comprehensive coverage of the last 3 weeks of violence against Hindus. And I don't think I even need to respond to very low-life comments of Ravi Srivastava, who had no words when the minorities were persecuted, killed, removed, raped, converted in Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, where the population went from large numbers to smallest, minuscule minority. He doesn't remember that in Nigeria, when girls are picked up for being educated in schools, raped or sold off or killed, he never spoke. He doesn't maybe he doesn't even know about it. He may not know that in Kenya, Muslims have attacked others continuously. There is also RSS. In Europe and Sweden and all other countries in Europe, the non-Muslims are attacked. That is also because of RSS. Last hundreds of years of violence against non-believers, that is also due to RSS. So these kind of people don't deserve any answer. My larger question is, what is happening is we have to understand, you normalize the violence against Hindus first by creating Hinduphobia, Hindu-misia. Then when they are attacked, you say, I am being attacked. And to give an example how important Hindu community is understood in UK, any restaurant in Europe and in UK or Europe is called Indian restaurant, the owners are Pakistanis or Bangladeshis, because they know if it is called Pakistani or Bangladeshi restaurant, it will not run. When there is success, it is called Asian success, and we lap it up because actually success is always of the Hindu or Indian citizen there, not of a Pakistani or Bangladeshi, etc. The way we have been asked to remove the torrents, and the people are scared of now cancelling, they want to cancel the Navratri, it reminds me very eerily like Jews were blackened, they were identified, and then there was a Holocaust. So these people are getting ready to have a Holocaust of Hindus while it is a Christian country. So using that same democratic norms, using the same facilities, they are trying to persecute and remove the Hindus from that particular place. And also remember, it is not just Hindus. It is same poison against Jews also. So this is Islamists versus non-Islamists. It is believers versus non-believers. Till we understand this, all this kind of theorizing, whataboutery is only adding insult to injury. And to come further, if you know how they were targeted continuously, and he says now in 1982 when there was a Babri destruction, for more than 40 temples were destroyed, arson in UK. What had UK Hindus to do with that? We have no answer, because this is blind hate of kafirs, blind hate for non-believers. Now, if these people, if it's a Syrian or Egyptians, their problem is Israel. So for them, Jews or white Christians, what about the sex grooming over the girls? Have you forgotten the case when 5 Pakistanis are held, arrested, accused and convicted for sex grooming of hundreds of white girls? Are you to think that is because of RSS? So these people who come with the Hindu hate with an agenda on the TV screens, they expose themselves very well. And I would say please beware, because today's Hindus, tomorrow it will be Jews or non-believers.
This is
that will be the end of
being
UK.
harvested.
Ravi Srivastava, please.
Yes,
harvested. The seeds are sown in India.
Ravi Srivastava.
Crop that is harvested
Hindus are the biggest
Ravi Srivastava, tomorrow you will say, now 1 second viewers, 1 second, tomorrow you will say that the call for the referendum in Calgary in Canada for Khalistan was also instigated by Hindutva. This is what they'll say, viewers. Next. I mean, this is a shocking level to which villainization of the victims is going on even in our country. Now, I want to just quote viewers, Teresa Villiers, UK MP. What does she say? Can we have an urgent debate on Hindu-phobic hate crime? There you can see her standing up in British Parliament. Let me play that bite to you, and I will go straight out to Majid Haidri and Ehtesham. Yes.
Tearing down we have an urgent debate on Hindu-phobic hate crime. Recent days have seen a number of appalling acts of intimidation and harassment directed against the Hindu community, including a violent mob targeting a temple and tearing down a flag with spiritual significance. And I think it is important that these disgraceful episodes are discussed by this Parliament.
Because this is not Indian Parliament and this is not a BJP MP. This is Teresa Villiers in the British Parliament. And she has come out and called a spade a spade. She's not the first. Last week, another MP, another British MP, had made the same allegation demanding a debate. Now, Majid Hydari, I want to take you back to 1989-1990, where there was a catastrophic attack on Kashmiri Hindus. I want to ask you, sir. One second. I'm going to ask you, Majid Hydari. I'm going to ask you straightforward. Where was the RSS at that time in Srinagar? Where was Hindutva mobilization? That was straightforward bigotry of the type we are seeing today. Today, in Birmingham, in Leicester, and other pockets.
Well, Rahul Sahab, before responding to your query, let me say that facts are sacred. So I went through the Leicester Police website to know the reality, and the Leicester Police says there's nothing like Hindu versus Muslim in Leicester, one. And second, it says that initially of the 9 persons arrested, 6 bear Hindu names. Now, I don't want to discuss Leicester.
Where is this? No, show me. No, one second. Majid Hydari, you've just lied on national TV. Show me.
No, I can tell you the names.
Show me.
I'll tell you the names.
Where are the Hindus?
If you want to debate
where are the Hindus arrested?
No, the charge. I didn't say arrested. I said the charge. The first name is Akshay Diva.
Listen, hang on.
The second name is
there have been 38 arrests. Excuse me. No.
Sankit Deshmukh, Rahul Mankama, and
excuse me, sir. There have been 38 arrests. Now talk about facts. Arrests, and not one is a Hindu. Not one. How is that possible?
Sir, you just check it out.
And sir, are you today? Of course you will. Are you today telling? No, 1 second.
Prove me wrong.
I have proven another fake news vendor here wrong on national TV. I will prove you wrong also. I will get out those details for exactly what Leicester Police has said. In fact, the British MP who was here on the show last week, viewers, said that of the 38, this is
you are bringing
Bob. No. This is Bob. This is Bob Blackman. 1 second. 1 second, Mr. Hydari. I'm not lying. I'll play out that soundbite again of Mr. Bob Blackman, who is an honourable member of Parliament, who stood up in Parliament and said exactly this. Either Bob Blackman is lying to his own Parliament, sir, or you are the paragon of truth. Unfortunately, sir, I will go by Mr. Blackman, and I want to go across. 1 minute. Let's get this, because let's go to people who are living there and who are actually part of the diaspora there. Let me ask Miss Manu Khajuria. Miss Manu Khajuria, how many Hindus have been arrested?
Rahul, as far as I know, I know of none. There have been 47 arrests, and as far as charges go, Majid Bhai is from the same state I am from, Jammu and Kashmir. He very well knows how the dog whistling takes place and how false allegations are placed. These very Islamist handles, especially Majid Freeman, who is known to be a supporter of Al-Qaeda and ISIS, has been alleging all sorts of things against Hindu youth, including a mosque being damaged, a Muslim girl being kidnapped by Hindu youths, and all these have been proven to be false. They have been proven to be just fake news with an intent to incite harm and violence against Hindus. So if he's talking about some charges, which I do not
actually
know,
the reason Majid Hydari is talking about these charges is to deflect attention from the only question that matters.
Okay, and let me come back to your question.
Yeah, let's ask. Why is VHP 1 second, sir, please, Majid Saab, 1 minute. Can I ask you the question, because you may...
democracy, why is VHP doing it ahead of his prospective visit to England? There is some conspiracy from the side of the Saffron forces.
Okay, Dishita wants to respond to you. Let me get in Dishita. Dishita wants to respond to you. Listen to her. Majid Hydari. I'm not going to get into this. I'm sitting here in India. I don't know. Dishita comes in. Yes.
It's actually really funny how every time this happens, for some reason, some political agenda or some political party, in this case, BJP and RSS is bought in. This is a completely homegrown problem in the UK. And until the government doesn't take ownership and recognizes it as a homegrown problem, which is Islamists against Hindus. This is not about Hindu-Muslim problem. This needs to be addressed, and this has nothing to do. If you ask these people,
my honorable Prime Minister doesn't need this propaganda. He's a tall leader. He doesn't need this propaganda of his prospective visit.
Just let me finish.
Stop playing this propaganda, please.
Let me finish.
We have very high regards for our college leader, Modi ji.
The actual victim, what RSS is. If you ask them, they're like, what is RRRS? They have no clue. This is purely Islamist radicals that are attacking
He's not going to. You can keep trying to tell him he's not going to accept it. They don't even admit to what happened in 1989-90. Mr. Hashmi, very quickly coming to you. References by Indian politicians who have used slurs like Susu Potty Republic and Gaumutra shots to disparage Hindus seem to have enabled this racist and communal bigotry. Would you accept this statement at face value, yes or no?
Any kind of abusive language cannot be tolerated, either they are by Muslim community or Hindu community. And Rahul, with utmost respect and sincerity, I just want to say that these radicals like Ratan Sharda, who is sitting here, are now posing a global threat. Right. Islamophobia now appears to be a matter of public and foreign policy for India, Rahul.
Okay.
And the Indian High Commission in UK responded to the events in Leicester by specifically referring only to the worries of Hindu community there. What about Muslim community, Rahul? We all are suffering because of these kinds of radical groups. Muslims are also suffering, and my Hindu brothers and sisters are also suffering. I am very much concerned about my Hindu brothers and sisters abroad India.
Right.
But what we are doing here in India to protect them, this is the main question.
Okay. Viewers, look, you can show them enough proof. You can bring people from the community onto the channel. You can show them the members of Parliament of UK and what they are saying. But there is an ecosystem that is invested in villainizing the victims. I leave it to your better judgment, viewers. My job is to bring the facts out and bring you the voices that are rationalizing this. And let me tell you, viewers, this is not a Hindu-Muslim issue. These are Islamists who are targeting Hindus. This ecosystem is trying to make it a Hindu-Muslim issue. What love do they have for Pakistanis? I don't know. Pakistanis need no excuse to target Indians, viewers. They've been doing it from the day Pakistan took birth. Egyptians, Syrians are in the mix. They are the primogenitors of these protests. How is Hindutva affecting them? There is no response here. They say, oh, look at the reaction to Nupur Sharma in UAE and Gulf. The UAE's foreign minister was standing with India's foreign minister and the French foreign minister just a few days ago, viewers. The French foreign minister, whose president, Emmanuel Macron, has actually urged his country to release the Prophet cartoons and has succeeded in doing so. So, viewers, UAE, Gulf countries, they have no compunctions. Money is all that counts. Trade with France, so they've forgotten profit. Think about that, viewers.